It's time for a wintry story. Our story today is called Snowflakes. It's been written by Kerry Burnell and illustrated by Laura Ella Anderson, and this is a scholastic book. Once there was a little girl called Mia who came from a city of street lights and stars. But Mia left her home with its cooing pigeons and rumbling trains and came to live with her grandma deep in the heart of a whispering forest. Grandma Mitzi had hair as silver as birch trees and skin that smelt of lavender. Her voice was warm of sunshine, but Mia hardly knew her. "This is your new room, and all the toys are for you," said Grandma Mitzi. Mia looked around, but didn't touch anything. She wasn't used to the quiet wooden house or the whispers of the forest. "And this is Lucky," smiled Grandma Mitzi. Mia gazed into Lucky's big brown eyes. She had never had a pet before. "Shall we take Lucky for a walk in the forest?" asked Grandma Mitzi. Mia shrugged. She had only heard of forests in storybooks. Grandma Mitzi gently wrapped Mia in a red winter coat and covered her ears with a woolen bobble hat. It was Mia's first ever coat. It looked lovely, but it felt ever so heavy. "This is the garden, and these are our hens," beamed Grandma Mitzi. "Would you like to feed them?" Mia shook her head. She had never fed a hen before. "And this is the forest," said Grandma Mitzi, as they tramped past enormous trees. Mia felt frightened of the strange silvery shadows. Then suddenly she saw something twinkling like a star. It fluttered through the air and landed on her nose. "It's cold!" she gasped. "It's snow!" laughed Grandma Mitzi. "Snow?" breathed Mia, and she chased the twirling flakes all the way to the village school. "You'll be coming here next term," said Grandma Mitzi softly. Mia stared at the children, as pale as snow, and so different from the children in the city. A girl in a blue coat looked up and waved. Mia's heart gave a little skip. "Perhaps this girl will be my friend," she thought. But Mia felt too shy to wave back, so she followed Lucky back through the forest. When they got home, Grandma Mitzi lit a fire and made a big pot of steaming soup. But Mia just nibbled at a piece of bread and stroked Lucky's silky fur. She lay in her bed too restless to dream. "Everything's so different," she thought, and then she remembered the moon. "That's the same moon that shines over the city," Mia gasped. She pulled on her red coat and ran outside to see the moon. But when Mia reached the garden, she stood quite still, for the world had turned magical. A million snowflakes floated through the air, each one as rare and beautiful as a star. And through the dark night, Mia thought she heard the winter wind whisper a song of ice and starlight. "Every snowflake is different. Every snowflake is perfect." And Mia realized it didn't matter how different she felt. She was perfect too. And she smiled a smile as bright as her moon. The next morning, Grandma Mitzi said, "Today is a special day. All the children hang winter decorations on the oldest tree in the village. Mia stared at the other families, so different from hers, and suddenly she felt lost. But then 3 snowflakes fell from the clouds and brushed her skin like kisses. Every snowflake is different. Every snowflake is perfect. Mia thought that, and she walked a little closer to the tree. My name's Ava, said the little girl in the blue coat. What's your name, and where do you come from? My name's Mia, and I came with the snow, said Mia, and she hung a red heart on the branch of a tree. Do you want to come sledging? Asked Ava, and she took Mia's hand and they ran through the snow together. I've never been in a sledge before, Mia gasped. Hold on tight, cried Ava, as they raced down the snowy hill. Woo! Mia's red coat didn't feel heavy, and the forest didn't seem strange at all. Mia had the most wonderful time ever. That night, Grandma Mitzi hung 3 glittering snowflakes in Mia's window to sparkle all year round. These are for you, my little snow child, she said, giving Mia a big, warm hug. And Mia put her little arms around her and hugged her back. For she knew that even when the snow had melted, she was here to stay in the cosy wooden house with the whispering forest and the big silver moon and Lucky the dog and her grandma who loved her to the stars and back. And Mia's little heart felt happy. That's the end of our story. Maybe you'd like to play the video now and see how to make some glue and salt snowflakes.